Van Walt is a bespoke team of individuals in 5 offices across 3 continents who design, source, install, supply, rent and repair equipment for environmental research. For more than 40 years, we have developed our expertise and experience to bring you best-in-class equipment for soil water and groundwater monitoring and research. Listening to your needs, using our experience and expertise to offer solutions that help you meet your objectives each and every time. Developing the equipment you need to protect the world's resources for future generations. Van Walt, monitoring your needs. Greetings, welcome to episode 2 of Van Walt, the Environment Monitors. And this week it's called Why KISS? Now I don't mean why pucker up, I mean why have we called our new product, our disruptive product for telemetry, why have we called it KISS? Now I'm going to be interviewing today one of the directors, David Van Walt, and you got it. It's the Van Walt name as well. Hi, David. How are you doing?
Morning, Chris. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. And I'm glad that you're smirking at the fact that we've got the why KISS, because it's your fault. You came up with this one.
Yes, I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking at the time, but the challenge was to try and have something that was a bit fun but serious and unique at the same time.
And it certainly is. And let's cut to the chase on this one. The KISS, keep it simple sensing. That's the reality of it, isn't it? Is that the objective that you guys, and this is a Van Walt created product from the ground level, isn't it? And it was about taking away the overcomplication of data collection, telemetry solutions.
Absolutely, it's about understanding a single use case and providing a solution to that use case in a good way without, as you say, overcomplicating it. Complications mean challenges. We want to do one thing, we want to do it really well. Keep it simple, and it does the job that's being asked.
And I have to say, because I mean, I absolutely adore this one. It really is out of the box thinking for an out of the box product. In reality, is that it's keep it simple in terms of the technology itself, and we'll come on to that in a second. And it's also keeping it simple in terms of proposing there's not all sorts of bits and pieces to be added on. It is a price that does what you need it to do. And it's also keeping it simple in terms of its installation. I mean, in reality, let's talk about the installation. Is we take the unit, we plug in the connector for the sensor, we let it go through its color sequence to show that it's powered on, it is connected via the SIM, it is good to go. You then feed the sensor on its cable down through the well and then sit it on the top of the well. I've just given you the installation instructions, haven't I?
Absolutely, and there's not much that can go wrong in that. So again, it's simple. It's very much plug and play. It's designed for anyone to be able to pick up the product, as you say, click it together, install it, walk away, and you've got your data. And it's as simple as that. So there's no complexities involved. There's no configuration requirements, nothing to prepare for. It's really a plug and play, throw it in the well, away you go, log on the next day, and you've got your data.
Absolutely. And I'm just sort of like trying to have a look. I did have sat around here the image of the product, but I know that we can go, let me just put this up, is that you can go vanwalt.com/equipment/vanwaltKISS. And that will give you the in fact, I'm going to bring that up now so that we can see that on the screen. Obviously, only if you are watching the video version of this. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you can't see it, but jump on and find us on the on YouTube. We do have a channel as well. And let me just pop that separately there, because I want to very quickly share it, because I just think it's a lovely looking device.
Yeah.
Let me bring that up. There we go. So there we can see the unit itself on the right hand side. The fact that it's there in the hand, that is the unit that just sort of like, it's got the sloping bottom, hasn't it? That will cater from wells from, is it an inch?
Yeah, 1 inch wells is the
Upwards.
minimum diameter that you can put it into. But as you see, and as you say, it's a simple unit, no moving parts. There's no switches, no buttons, no screens, and that's by design. It's keeping it simple. It's minimizing what can go wrong. It's making it robust. This is going to sit outside. It's going to get a lot of abuse from the weather, the elements, and around it. There's nothing really that water can't get into any components, because there are no components. It's a sealed unit from the top, sensor at the bottom, and away you go. So again, doing a job, but doing it well with the best components that we could find.
I'm not sure we're supposed to use the word "doing it well," are we, when it's in a well? I don't know.
Only you can pick up on that.
Always. So if we now sort of go through the levels of this, keeping it sensible,
Yeah.
keeping it simple. Sorry, sensible. There's nothing sensible about me. Keeping it simple. It's sort of squeezing the brains of the telemetry. We've got the data hub, data slave solutions that can record absolutely everything, can have multiple sensors off of the same data hub. It reports. What's the frequency of reporting on the data hub again?
It was configurable. So to what our standard would be 15-minute monitoring and 1 hour upload. But again, if a customer wants to change that on the data hub, that's absolutely possible. We will configure it to the customer requirements.
So that gives you, that level of sophistication. Yeah, it's an absolute fabulous piece of kit. But you guys identified that isn't what everybody wants, and so they stick with the manual loggers, put the loggers down the well, manually go out every week, fortnight, month, whatever it is,
Frequencies, yeah.
and download that data. And that is time, that is effort, that is cost, that is risk, because if there's been an issue with that logger, you don't know until you try to get that data, and water ingress could have happened for all you know. But they don't necessarily need that sort of every 15 minutes, every hour, every thing under the sun that they could need to report. This narrows it down. Out of the box, the standard format is water level, water temperature, and the health of the sensor and the unit itself.
Yeah.
That's the kind of core things. Now, you can add more to that, can't you?
Yeah, so we're bringing in conductivity. Will be the second sensor that we add to the same unit. Exactly the same principle. It's just a different sensor and a different cable. And potentially further down the line, again, depending on customer demand, there's some additional high accuracy sensors that we can also add to the same unit. The unit itself doesn't change; it's just the sensor underneath it. So there are some variations coming depending on what the use case is.
But not too much. This is a key thing, is that we're not suddenly encroaching on the sophistication of the data hub telemetry system that people are sort of more used to.
Absolutely.
So it's those core things. Now, the other one is that it records the data every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But in terms of sending that data.
Yeah, so the data upload is once every 24 hours. And the reason for that, one of the primary reasons for that is power consumption. What we've tried to do is create a unit that can be put in the field for 2 years, 24 months, without touching it. Every day it will send data through. And to do that, the optimum configuration is a 24-hour upload. So every morning, I think it's at 8 o'clock in the morning, the sensor will upload the previous 24 hours worth of data. So that's 96 records, and that will become available on the cloud server for viewing and for download. It is not configurable, but it's not configurable because we are keeping it simple. We're maintaining the battery, we're protecting the battery, and from our conversations with customers and from our experience, there are use cases where we don't need to see the data every hour. Once every 24 hours is perfectly sufficient, and even then, some customers may not. They'll collate the data. They can configure an email on the system to advise that the data's there, or if there's been an issue, and it will. They may look at it once a month, once every couple of weeks, whatever the requirement is.
Exactly right, and they can download it in CSV format. It's a vented system, so we don't need a barrow.
No.
It is compensated. The only thing you do is you take a dip to start with, if you haven't done already, just so that you can then determine. You do the equation.
Throw that into a spreadsheet, and we can help with the formulas if people particularly want. Download the data, and then edit the calculated field or the datums that the customer may need.
And it's as simple as that, really is. I mean, again, hopefully you can now really see why the keep it simple sensing was the right way to go with this, everybody. But it's through the VanWalt Connect Lite. Now we have the VanWalt Connect dashboard, web browser based, that is how everybody sees the data for the data hub and the data slave. We have VanWalt Connect Lite because even that has just been dramatically simplified. It doesn't need overcomplication. It is, there's your sensors. If you've got multiple vanwaltKISS units around, go into it, see your data, download your data. That's kind of it.
Yeah, and again, it's a balance between cost and delivering complexity of solutions. What we've tried to do with this product is maintain a low cost price, so it's a kind of an entry level system. In order to do that, we've had to simplify some things because the more you do, the more expensive it becomes. So we've drawn a line as to what are the absolute requirements from a customer perspective. What are the real nuts and bolts that's required, and ultimately, if more is required, we have a solution for that with the data hub and the data slave and the full VanWalt Connect package. But for those people that just need the raw data in a simple format without any bells and whistles, this is the perfect solution. And by making it simple, by stripping down some of those complexities, we've been able to put together a really competitive package, which we hope will be advantages for customers. Where in this day and age, cost is a big factor for everyone.
And it is, and I'm not going to go into the exact specifics of cost at the moment. Let's speak, if anybody wants to have a chat with this, give me a shout, and we can have a chat about that. But suffice to say, another objective was not to be far away from the cost of a manual logger and a barrow. So if you've got to go and get two of those, it's not far off the cost of that, and yet you're getting telemetry, and you're off, you're running, you leave it there, it will be sending the data back to you. And because it's browser based, is that you're able to give access to that data to other people. So if, for example, if the people that we speak with are the contractors, I guess is the right word, and they want their customer to actually have access to that data via the dashboard, they can do that if they really wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. We can configure who sees the data, who doesn't see the data, and actually the system itself, we've configured that the customers can do that themselves as well. So we have a lead customer. They may wish to share the data with their customers or their regulators or other people within their department or organization. They can grant that access as well. It doesn't need to come back to a central portal. They have full management of their own system to configure it as to how they need it. And again, it's more efficient for them. They don't need to come back to us to configure anything. They have full control of their system. So we've configured, I think, 3 users. There's the basic customer that can just read and download data, and there's a customer admin which will have the ability to do things like rename the sensor depending on where it's been installed. You may want to call it sensor 1, sensor 2, borehole 1, borehole 2. They can name it to whatever they like, and they can grant and deny access within their own organizations. All they need is an email address, which would be the user name, the user ID, and then they can take it away from there.
No, exactly. And there's so much scope. I'm just going to quickly bring this back up again, is that what you can hopefully see is on the side of that product is that there's a bit sticking out that's got a loop.
Yeah.
Now, we've even got a conversation going on where somebody they've got one borehole, but with 2 wells that go to different depths, and they need 2 KISS units to sit within the well cover to then ping down sensors into each of these wells, albeit in the same borehole, and they can lap over and be connected through that loop. That's a diagram I've seen put together this morning by our amazing technical team.
Yeah.
The point being is that there's still degrees of flexibility. It's not that we've suddenly straitjacketed everyone, but we've got away the fluff, the complications, and gone, right, telemetry is now available to the masses.
Yeah. Make it simple, make it as you say, available to the masses. No complexities, very simple solutions to get the data that you need.
No, exactly right. We are looking shipping probably around start of April, I think we're looking at. Is that right?
Yeah. So most of the components are now coming into the building. We're waiting a few final bits and pieces. The design is finalised. We've built to the point that we need to be. Final components are arriving in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be ready to go.
In essence, what we tend to do in the conversations is that it's like, okay, what is it you're looking to sensor? Water level, water temperature, potentially conductivity can be added, as we said, if they require that. If there's more than that, then we push towards the other solutions. The idea is that we have a toolkit that says we can actually provide telemetry to people that may have been, for want of a better word, ignored in the past. Equally, some of those that would go telemetry but have suddenly gone, well, actually, I don't need to spend as much on telemetry because I can simplify it, go for this. It's there, it's available. If you needed alarms, alerts pinging off, and you needed more regular sending of the data, which not everybody does in reality, but if you did, we'd be looking Data Hub. If you're not, they're not necessary. The whole idea is the keep it simple sensing is sat here giving you telemetry. I mean, it is a wonderful looking piece of kit. Again, I'm just going to bring this up. It's just a lovely unit, and off the bottom of that is the connector where you plug in the sensor. That will be pre-soldered. It comes with the default cable length is 30 meters, but we're able to reduce that. Is it in brackets of 5 meters?
Yeah, so we'll absolutely. So within 5 meters, we'll have 30 meters, 25, 20, 15, 10. So we will have varying lengths of cable. What we can't do is make cable longer, of course. But from a customer perspective, the default is 30, and we can make that smaller depending on the size of the well and the water depth that they are monitoring.
Worth quickly pointing out, by the way, is that we can also put a 50-meter cable on there, but that needs to be, I think it's like, it needs 10 units at least of those for us to be able to do it, I believe is the way, but we can have those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. 50 is possible for those use cases where that additional length is needed.
Yeah, okay. Big one as well that people seem to be loving when we're speaking to them is that this is available on the Logger for Life program that Van Walt are the pioneers of, where instead of it being that you buy that piece of equipment and you that's it, you own it, or does your customer own it, or do you own it, all those kind of things, is that you pay a monthly figure, fully supported, fully covered. If something goes wrong, it is a straight switch out and you carry on running. It includes, and I'll come on to this in a second, the 2-year, what's the word I'm looking for? The
Recommissioning.
That's the word. Thank you. Just went blank there. The recommissioning, and I'll speak to you about that in a second. That's all included. The whole thing is there, and it's a monthly. Now, either you then just keep that running, and you can move it to another project within that if you want to, or project finishes, you take it off, you send it back. That's it. It's done and dusted, and there's not an ownership passing that you have to worry about. It is just taken off rental, returned to us, and then you contact us when you need to rent more again afterwards.
Yeah, and we're really just bolting that onto the side of our existing rental business. So many of our customers will be aware that we do rental for multiple products. And this is just another one on the shelf in the arsenal. So if the customer would prefer to rent rather than to buy, absolutely that is an option. They can follow exactly the same process. We will prepare the equipment, we will ship it, customer can deploy it, use it. When they're done with it, they send it back, or they extend it depending on what they need. Very much the same principle as, a hire car. You may have a hire car for a week, 2 weeks, you use it, you give it back. If you want to hire a car for 2 years, maybe you consider buying one.
And I'm not possibly going to mention that it could be potentially from as little as £170 a month, but I'm not going to mention that. We're going to let that one go. I mentioned about the recommissioning. Now, the reason I mentioned about 2 years, another thing of keeping this simple, it's self-sufficient in its power. It doesn't need solar panels. It doesn't need all of that. It's designed to be low on power consumption. And so it's a 2-year battery, 2-year SIM contract. It's all wrapped into one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's designed. The whole thing is designed around 2-year life. So at the end of the 24 months, the product at that point will go to sleep. So there are limitations. The battery is likely to run out, but also the memory. So the memory within the system has been designed to hold 2 years worth of data, recording every 15 minutes for 24 hours. So at the end of that, the memory will fill. The process, send it back to us if we want to recommission it. What we'll do, we have a servicing pack. We will swap out the battery. We will clear down the memory, run the backups. We will replace all the seals, and it will go back out again as effectively a new unit with a new 2-year warranty against it.
And that's the thing, it's restarting that 2 years. So although we're thinking 2 years, don't think that, oh right, so I'm buying a product for 2 years. No. Everything in it has a 2-year life. It's recommissioning. If you're on the logger for life, that's completely covered, so it will never end. If you purchase it, which actually we're struggling to be able to do that because we've got to manage stock levels with this wonderful semiconductor chip issue that we've got around the world, that I forget the exact figure, but it's like a few £100 that just gets it recommissioned, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have the exact figures to hand either, but I think it's just under £200, and we will send it out as a new product.
Watch this space. We're doing that from memory, so don't quote us on that under £200. That might be our cost. I can't remember, but it's a few £100 in essence, and that recommissions, and it's then off and ready for another 2 years. Fully warranted again, 2-year battery, 2 years SIM, 2-year data. Everything is all
Again, from a usage perspective, it's all good to go again.
Exactly. I mean, it literally, it's why I take the mickey out of you, David, for the fact that the KISS name, but I have to say, it sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, I think it's a good name. It does sum it up. I also think it's fun. It stands out a little bit. But I think we should also note that, in all seriousness as well, this is a serious product. It's got the best components in there. Yes, we've kept it simple, but we've also got the best battery in there. We've got the best modem we could find. We've partnered with our electronics experts who have designed the circuitry and put together a really robust product with inbuilt redundancy. So everything that we've done really, really well. But the bits that we've done are the bits that you absolutely need to fulfill the requirement. So we've kept it simple. By focusing on what do we actually need and putting everything else to one side.
Agreed. No, I absolutely love it. And I mean, if you, I want to make this thing clear as well. Van Walt designed this from the ground up, manufactured in the UK for Van Walt. The ideas and principles. I mean, Vincent Van Walt, your father, I think it's okay to say. He made the Yeah, he made the sort of like the joke is that it was almost on the back of a napkin,
Yeah.
was the initial designs, and it was that. I mean, he's dangerous, your dad. At the best of times, he'll suddenly come up with ideas when he sat over a coffee,
Mhm.
noted it down, and it, let it percolate, and it's become an actual product.
Yeah, and I think that's, everything has to start somewhere, and there was a use case for it that sprang the light bulbs in the mind, and we did our due diligence, our research into it, and felt it was a beneficial product to introduce to our arsenal. So we have a very nice, from very simple things, just straightforward dip meters, all the way to the complex custom solution. We've kind of now got everything in the middle, to hopefully give the customer exactly what it is that they need at the best price. There's no point buying something that you don't need. So it's not necessarily what you want. It's what you really need, and it comes down to what is it you actually really need to get from this system. And once you've got that, you can then choose the right one for the deployment.
And that includes the software, the Van Walt Connect Lite, that was
Yeah,
designed from the ground up. And I
yeah,
hasten to add, by the way, is that the beauty of this is that if you have multiple wells that you would be putting multiple loggers down,
yeah,
you can put multiple vanKISS units into, but all of them can be reporting to the same
yeah,
dashboard within
yeah.
Van Walt Connect Lite.
Absolutely. So you can have one sensor, you can have 10 sensors, but you have one login. So that one login will give you the 1 or the 10, depending on how many you've got
Or
installed,
100.
or 100. Yeah, absolutely.
As many as you want, and that's the great thing. So with us, Van Walt being designed it from the ground up, not reliant on others, it's straight from the source, and I think it's safe to say that we're all rather excited about the Van Walt KISS.
Absolutely. It's been a long time coming. It's had a lot of development, a lot of testing, a lot of cycles. We've had a few challenges, as you mentioned, with chips. But it's now coming together, and we're weeks away now from having production ready units to get out into the field.
Absolutely. So again, you see on the bottom, vanwalt.com/equipment/vanwaltKISS. Drop onto that, and it does include the ability to get hold of me, and it will be me, by the way, eventually, that you'll speak to, because this is, as you may guess from the level of excitement in my voice, this is my baby that I'm in control on the consultancy side of things to work with you, which includes, by the way, if it becomes apparent in our discussions that this isn't the right thing for you, I shall then interface you with the right people for the data hub and whatever else. And of course, there's so many different things that Van Walt do that can include nitrate sensors, soil gas, so much more to just water as well. But this is definitely in terms of your groundwater. If we talk about example applications, and this is,
Mhm.
this list can go on and on. Environmental research, groundwater monitoring projects and site assessments, tidal studies, groundwater monitoring network automation, watershed drainage basin and recharge areas, stream gauging. I nearly said gouging then. Lake levels and reservoirs, wetlands monitoring, stormwater runoff monitoring, environmental monitoring, aquifer level monitoring, aquifer storage and recovery, flood risk monitoring, wetland and peat bog monitoring and surveys, final outflow monitoring for groundwater remediation projects.
You can breathe now.
Yeah, I had to take a run up for that one, didn't I? And that's not an exhaustive list at the end of the day, is
No,
it?
no, absolutely, it's not an exhaustive list. It is a flexible product, because it can be installed in many different use cases, and it's been designed to do exactly that as well. From 1-inch wells to the bigger wells, to under the ground, if we need to, with the appropriate well covers over the top, or above ground as well. So it can fit to pretty well any type of scenario, location, or landscape. The only thing it needs is a mobile phone signal. It needs to connect to the GSM network. So that's really the only constraint behind where you can use this product.
And incidentally, in terms of that installation, I mentioned at the start of this show is the fact that it's like plug in the
Yeah,
sensor, let it go through its lights, and that's it. It means that either you don't need to pay for any installation by us, as
yeah,
is potentially is the case with excuse me, a lot of other solutions, you can go and do it yourself. However, we can do it for you if you want to, or with you for the first few. If you knew that there's going to be more, we can do it that way round. But the beauty is that's really minimized. I mean, we've had already quotes going out that is like one person half a day compared to multiple people for a day or more.
It gives the customer a choice. Some people are more comfortable with installations than other people, but in this case here, it's as you've already alluded to, it's a very wound down installation process. It's connecting a cable and putting it into a well. But there are people that would prefer us to do that, and we are more than happy to do that. And we can do that, as you say, in a fairly quickly. We don't need to build anything. We'll come to site, we'll install it, commission it, test it, and then we'll give you the keys to the data. But yep. It's a customer choice ultimately. It comes down to what they are most comfortable with, and we will talk with everyone and agree what's the most comfortable approach. We're happy to support.
No, exactly right. It's there, it's doable. And beforehand, we might sort of need, it'd be helpful with photographs of the well cover so we can understand top of well to top, the cover, bits and pieces like that. But it's keep it simple sensing, keep it simple everything.
Absolutely. And it comes down to, I did a presentation yesterday to some people on requirements. Ultimately, it comes back down to the requirements. We've got the plug and play solution. We've got the custom solution. We will talk to people, what are the requirements? And if the requirements are just pure data, no alarms, 24-hourly upload is fine, then KISS is the solution for you at a really, really competitive price. If we need to be looking at larger networks, complexities that need alarms, where installation might be slightly more challenging, then we have a solution for that as well. So we will recommend what we feel is best to the requirements. So it's really important that we understand what it is that people need.
Absolutely. Well, I think that kind of covers everything, doesn't it, David?
I think so, yeah. I think, as you said, it's really exciting to now be at this stage. We're within touching distance, so really looking forward to getting the boxes arrive here at the office and give them to you to get out in the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. So get in touch. Let's have conversations about this. vanwaltKISS, keep it simple sensing. It gives you telemetry. Simplified, reduced cost. It makes it affordable to actually bring in telemetry, or bring down the cost of your telemetry if you're able to simplify your requirements. But let's have a conversation. And we are already getting quotations out for people that have got projects on the go. So give us a shout, and we can work out what's the best thing to do for you. But from us here at Van Walt, thank you for listening to Van Walt, the Environment Monitors. Episode 2 was Why KISS? I think you know why now. So thank you very much for your time. We'll speak to you all again very soon for episode 3. Van Walt is a bespoke team of individuals in 5 offices across 3 continents who design, source, install, supply, rent and repair equipment for environmental research. For more than 40 years, we have developed our expertise and experience to bring you best-in-class equipment for soil water and groundwater monitoring and research. Listening to your needs, using our experience and expertise to offer solutions that help you meet your objectives each and every time. Developing the equipment you need to protect the world's resources for future generations. Van Walt, monitoring your needs.